and welcome to the channel Truck It Prow. What a day to be alive. My daughters are 2 years old and they've lived through 2 monarchs, 3 prime ministers, a pandemic and a war in Europe. That's pretty impressive, I'd say. There's probably a few more things that I'm missing there as well, but what a crazy old world we're living in. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with the video. I hope you enjoy it, so let's go. So guys, we were going to be talking about becoming a HGV driver. How easy or how hard is it? Sorry about that, motorbike just came past. Didn't expect that. So how hard or how easy is it? I'm going to go through the steps of what it takes to become a HGV driver, but before I do that, I just want to give you a sort of an idea, a bit of background about myself and how I got into it. So I used to do mobile tyre fitting, so I used to drive around in a van fitting tyres for lorries basically. So I kind of got an interest that way. Now the good thing about that job was that I was driving around on the roads all day, every day, and I've built up a good extensive knowledge of the areas where I was working, i.e. Essex, Kent, London, which is predominantly where I do most of my work. Excuse me. So I would recommend, if you haven't driven for a living, then basically maybe try doing a bit of van work or whatever, just something that just gets you familiar with driving long hours. It's definitely going to be a beneficial way. Now I understand that not everybody can afford to do this, they might not pay enough compared to what you're doing currently, so you don't have to do that, but personally that's what I did, so it might help you. So the second step would be to start doing some class 2 work. Now you can do 2 routes now, I believe. I'm not too sure, I haven't actually checked, but I know there was a scheme where you could go from car straight to class 1, which is an articulated lorry like I'm driving now. However, I'm not sure if that's still available. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if it is. But the good thing about doing that is that once you're qualified straight away for your class 1, then you can do class 2 work, obviously, because that will qualify you for it. So I would recommend maybe starting off on class 2, doing a bit of agency work, getting used to the length of those lorries, and gradually working your way up. It's basically what I did. I started off doing a 7.5 ton lorry. I was driver, I had a driver's mate with me, I did multi-drop. That was a good little bit of experience, tight roads, little villages. You can go to a lot of places where you wouldn't really go in lorries, and it gives you an understanding of what roads you can and can't go down. And then after that, progress on to something a bit bigger, maybe an 18 ton, 22 ton lorry, and just sort of work your way up gradually. The good thing about agencies is that they do pay well and you're getting the experience. Now a lot of people are a bit anxious about working for an agency because obviously it's not guaranteed work. However, there is so much work out there at the moment, don't think you'd have a problem with getting 5 days a week. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I've heard and that's what I imagine is true. The next thing you want to do is then start, sometimes it might be good if you go and work for an agency that does both, and then you can try a few days here and there on a class 1, and that might give you a little bit of a feel for the job. And then what I would personally do is work on a company which is something like trunking or containers, somewhere where the places you go are generally going to be quite big. So like if you're doing store deliveries for, like, I don't know, say a supermarket or something, you're going to turn up at a depot and it's going to be a big open, a big open car park with loads of bays, and you're not going to be rushed to do your reversing maneuvers. That's what I basically did when my first class 1 job. I was doing fridge deliveries for a company that delivered to places like Tesco's, Marks and Spencer's, so on and so forth. That really was a good help to me, because you don't realise how rubbish you are at reversing until you start doing your first class 1 job, because the reversing you do on your test, which is what I'm going to get into in a minute, is very basic compared to what you'll do when you're at stores. So for example, when you're doing your test, you'll literally be like straight, and imagine you're on a 2-lane carriageway and you need to reverse from 1 lane back into the other lane. It'll be like a little bay made out for you with cones. It's difficult because you've got people looking at you. Obviously you're new, it's quite nerve-wracking, but it's definitely doable. They'll teach you certain tricks of how to get it just right as you're doing it. So we're going to delve straight into what is the process. So the process is basically you want to call up, providing you've got your car driver's license, obviously, call up the local HGV training centre and go for get a few different prices. They do vary. Some do packages for class 1 and class 2, or like I say, if there's doing the car to class 1, then why bother with the class 2? But yeah, just give them a call and find out the different prices. They usually include the CPC. What's the CPC? CPC is like the car version of the theory test. So you'll be on a computer, they'll ask you questions about load sizes, about your working time directive, that means like brakes and stuff like that, and all sorts of questions like that. And there'll also be like I can't remember, I think there might be a little bit of a hazard perception on there. It's been a while since I did it, so don't hold me to that. But yeah, you can get some apps on your phone. That's what I did. There's a free app that I got, and basically whenever I had a bit of free time on my old job, like on my break or whatever, waiting around, I would just literally sit on that and just keep going through it over and over and over and over again, answering all the questions. And when I came to my test, I smashed it. So it can be done. I'm not the most academic person in the world. I'd say I'm quite average, not overly smart, I'm not dumb, but yeah, it can be done. It's not as hard as you may think. There's a fly in my cab. I absolutely hate flies in my cab. Sorry. Anyway, so the next thing is you're going to want to go and do your actual training. So you'll be taken out, in my case it was for 3 days. I'm pretty sure it's the same in most places. So you'll be taken out for 3 days, 3 days training, and basically you'll be with a driving instructor. They will tell you what to do, what to expect, and they will tell you more times than you could possibly know if they're a good instructor, just to keep checking those mirrors, 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 and mirrors, mirrors, signal. Never do the signal mirrors. That drives them crazy. Just get that into your head and you'll be fine. So you'll do all that. You'll go out from 3 days. They'll take you back to the yard. They'll train you to do some reversing, uncoupling the trailer, coupling it back up, and then on the 4th day you'll have an assessor take you out. I think it's for about an hour. Drive around to the area you've been driving. Just obviously, what I will say with your test as a HGV driver, it's not the same as a car, right? So with your car test, they will mark you down for hesitation, and that's possibly a failure. With HGVs, I found, I was worried about this in my test. I stopped at a roundabout and it felt like I was there for an eternity, and I just kept watching these cars come. And if I was in a car, there was lots of time to go, but I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to like risk obscuring anyone, because that is a foul. So just take your time, don't worry, don't stress, just wait for that opportunity. It will come. Trust me, it will come. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it will come. So definitely make sure that you're familiar with that. And then they'll take you back to the yard, and then they'll do your reverse maneuver, assess you on that, and then they'll go through the coupling and uncoupling. Actually, I'm not sure if they do go through that other test. They probably should, and they probably do. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. Like I say, it's been a long time since I did it. So yeah, that's basically the process. Once you've passed, they'll send you a certificate in the post, and then you can apply for your license, and they'll send that to you via post, I believe, as well. And then happy days, well done, you're a HGV driver. You can go and look for jobs. Now this is the bit where a lot of people get disheartened, because when you go looking for jobs, experience required, minimum of 2 years experience required. It is soul destroying. I was so angry when I passed. I just didn't expect every single job to want experience, and I was like, how am I supposed to get the experience if no job is going to give me the opportunity? But believe me, there are jobs out there that will take you. Just try and apply for these ones that even do say experience required. You never know, you might get lucky. But the best thing I say, like I said earlier in the video, is maybe try an agency. God, what's wrong with me today? I said some pop, fizzy pop, so I'm getting a little bit burpy. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. If there's anything else you'd like to know, don't hesitate to message me, leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope this helps you, and like I said, it has been a while since I've done my test. I'm not too sure how much has changed since then. It's been 5 years now, so I can't imagine a great deal's changed, but there's always something that probably has changed. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, and make sure you like, subscribe, and if you like, even share it with somebody that you know that might be thinking about becoming a HGV driver. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
I could go out in the darkness, see you calling my name. I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go, let me go.